Okay, hi guys. This is like a writing vlog 2 or like part 2 to the first video. In this writing vlog I will actually write, which makes sense because it's a writing vlog. In the first video I basically just kind of explained my books and like talked about them. So if you haven't watched that video, you might want to do that. Otherwise you might be like really confused on what I'm talking about pertaining to my books and like the plots and the stories. But I mean, it's up to you. So I basically have some like dilemmas when it comes to my book. And if you watch the first video, you will like recall this. So with the third book, it is just like explaining it briefly again. It is basically what a like very bad version of my future. Like if a lot of things in my life just went wrong, like things that some of my fears coming true, or like things that I really want in life and like big aspirations just going completely wrong with like in terms of like career. So I'm like working a job that I don't like or wasn't planning on, really wanted something else, or I'm like not passionate about it. And so one of the dilemmas I have is figuring out if I should write the version where I still get my dream job, or a version where I'm writing about a job that I completely did not plan on having, and I'm thinking like what kind of job that would be, like a boring 9 to 5 office job, which I just don't know if I can write that long about that because that actually sounds so boring. I don't even know much about office jobs. Like that would make sense that I know more about the path that I am trying to go on. And there's like another thing behind this where, so if I make the main character, Elizabeth, have the right career path, like so that does go right, and that will be surgical residency. I like the idea of it working out because I like the idea of her meeting her best friend, which is a big character in the book as well. Shoot, but her name is Leanne. Oh my god, I can't even remember the name of my own characters. Let me just open it. So by the way, I read it on Google Docs. And here is the novel loading. Oh, it was Lane, right? I was gonna say Leanne, which is like if you just replace or like switch around the A and the I. So anyway, yeah, Lane. So yeah, she's a big character in the book. She helps Elizabeth a lot, and so I like the idea of them meeting in surgical residency because I feel like that's a good like 5-year period where people meet people, and they're very similar because they're obviously went on the same like path in life in a way, and so they have a lot in common already, and they must be like similar people with like similar character traits and aspirations and goals because they're you have to be like really motivated to do that, I think, and like get that far in life. So I like that idea. And the thing is, if I did the office job, I just feel like everything would be so much more boring. Like, I don't know how exactly she would meet her friend then, because the way that the book starts, I guess to also recap, the way I write is, like, I don't really plan, I just kind of start writing. And so I think when I started writing this book, which I can't even remember when that was, like, I can't remember if that was a year ago or 2 years ago, because it was like more recent, but also not, that recent. So, and I think when I was writing it, I was thinking in the mindset at first, because like the way it starts is it's talking about like a work party kind of, and I think when I was writing it, I was thinking of like the office and like an office party, an office job, but I could just turn that around and still make it like a surgical residency party where they're not like performing surgeries. They just like went out with their fellow interns, residents, fellow doctors. So I could just do that. Basically, enough talking about this. I literally just have to, I think, write and like thinking about it more, because I thought me talking about this right now was going to help me figure it out, but I still don't know. So I think what I have to do is just start writing, and that way I will figure out what I should do and what's best. So I will update you when I actually write, and I'm just going to do like a montage of me writing, and then I'll just pause it and like update. Guys, I just had a genius idea. I should use, instead of my laptop, well, instead of just my laptop, I should get my like clackety typewriter type keyboard so that this can be kind of like an ASMR. Because I'm trying to like think of how to make the montage sorry, interesting. So far, I think this is in order, but I have not put chapters. So, can't be sure. By in order, I mean not like out of order, like, you know, start to end type of deal, or not to end, but to wherever I am. Okay, honestly, so I feel like I just need to brainstorm. If it wasn't the surgical residency, what other jobs could it be? It could be the office job. That's one. I don't know exactly what type. When I say office job, I mean that it's in an office. Like, at least Elizabeth, main character, would be in an office and just be doing something. Because I feel like multiple jobs have offices, but you know, that's what I mean by office. And then, like, I would definitely have to figure out what she would be doing, but you know, anyways, the office. Other things that I was considering back when I was younger, I don't know. Interior designer, author. I feel like that's kind of funny because I'm literally like making a writing blog. But making her an author, no, that wouldn't work because then she would kind of have to be like self-employed. So then how would she have like the work party? What other things was I considering? Oh, well, like I think like aerospace engineering is cool, and is that an office job? Maybe it would be, kind of. So I think that it could be that, which is actually cool. I definitely could see how I can make that work, because I can make her like have a engineering bachelor's degree, and then she kind of like, it was too hard, and then she went to aerospace engineering. Though at the same time, I feel like aerospace engineering isn't easy either, so it kind of wouldn't make sense. But I might do that. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else, at least right now. Okay, since I still seem to be so undecided about this, I think next I need to consider where I would want her, Elizabeth and Lane, to meet. So, like their past. So before, because right now it's like surgical residency, but with author, we ruled that out. With an office job, she just met her at the office, which is kind of boring. Because I don't feel like I could write about that for that long. Okay, with interior designer, she met her in college. With aerospace engineering, also in college. Yeah, I feel like I am going to stick with the surgical residency because I just feel like that's going to be the most interesting, and I could write some interesting scenes with that. With the other ones, I already like can feel myself not having the motivation to write that because it's just not right. Like, it's boring and it doesn't seem like what I should do. So I think I have an answer finally. But you know what I actually could do? I could make Elizabeth meet Lane in surgical residency and then still go to a different career because it didn't work out. But at that point, if you got to surgical residency, like you finished med school, I feel like there's just like I'm not saying there's no way you don't like pass, but at that point, like you would have already passed the MCAT. Well, that's just to get into medical school. You would have already graduated medical school. You're a doctor. I feel like that might not work, trying to make her fail residency, because I'm not saying like it's easy, I'm sure it's very difficult, but at that point, like, you're already so far along, you've gotten so far, that I don't know if I could just make it all go wrong. So unless I did something, it went wrong, not because of like she's not smart enough, but because of some other like personal life issue, which there's plenty of in the book. So many considerations. Okay, again, I think I just need to write and see what will work best. So I'm guessing that if you're watching this, you're also somewhat of a writer, and you know when you just literally stop writing mid-sentence and you're like, I don't know what I was gonna say. Like, why? This has a pumpkin on it. I don't care. Okay, so random update time. If you can hear my sister's music in the background, I'm sorry. My book is starting to remind me of Jane the Virgin, because the show, the Netflix show, I think it's a Netflix show. It's on Netflix. I don't know if it was like made by Netflix, but because I feel like it's gonna be like a love triangle between Elizabeth, Daniel, and the guy. Oh, I don't think you even like explained this yet, but so not only does Elizabeth settle for Daniel, but this guy Adrian comes back, and he's just like a random like childhood crush that she had, and he's like, oh, I have feelings for you, and she's like, what? But the problem is that she likes him too, but she has Daniel and the kids, so she's like, and in Jane the Virgin, Jane goes back and forth between these two guys. What are their names? Michael and... I haven't watched the show in a while. Starts with an R. Raphael? Wait, I'm gonna search it up. Jane the Virgin cast. Raphael. Oh my god, okay. Raphael, yeah. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. Anyways, she goes back and forth between them. And that's what like carries the show. It makes it go so long. It almost is a little bit too much, like a little annoying. But I think that if I did that, I think that I am going to do that. I'm just trying to figure out if I should, like, how much I should make her go back and forth between, like, oh, I'm gonna choose Daniel or I'm gonna choose Adrian, which I'm not sure. That's actually set on the name Adrian. I kind of feel like I might do a different name, but I looked at a list of names and that was like the name that popped out so far. So it would be annoying if I write the entire novel and then I'm like, I want to change his name, and then I have to go back and forth and change it. But we're working with what we got, so I'm trying to decide if I should make her change her mind between them a lot, and if I should make that like a prolonged thing, or just like make it more quick, like she's just like, oh Daniel, oh Adrian, oh Daniel, oh Adrian, you know, and like trying to decide between them. So yeah, that's the update. And I can already tell that this video is going to be long, so I might just have to cut it off, honestly, and make like a part 3, or I don't exactly know what I'm doing right now. I'm just making like writing vlogs, and well, based on like the 3rd book, because my first one is published and then the second one is finished and it's just like editing, so it's not really like anything to make a video about. But this one is very much a work in progress. There's literally only 30 pages, so we got a long time to go, and I have a lot of ideas for this book, like a lot of really random ideas. It's going to be a ride. This book is going to be really crazy, I can already tell. But I might just have to cut this video short because it's already long, because I have to do so much explaining about this book and I'm not actually getting that much writing done, and there's still so many like factors that I don't know. So I might just have to make like a different video, but we'll see.